Good morning students. In the last lecture of the operating system, we were learn the concept of schedulers and its types. We know that the schedulers are special system software which handle process scheduling in various ways. Their main task is to select the jobs to be submitted into the system and to decide which process to run. There are different types of scheduler such as long-term scheduler, short-term scheduler and medium-term scheduler. We learned all these types of scheduler in the last lecture. Now in this lecture we will start our next point as context switching. We know that what is an real meaning of the context. Context means one part, one section. And switching means what? Transferring. Okay. Then what is an context switching in the operating system? In this lecture we are going to learn what is an context switching and how the context switching is done with different processes in the operating system. First we will see what is an exactly context switching is. When CPU switches to another process, the system must save the state of old process and load the saved state for the new process via a context switch. Means a context switch is the mechanism to store and restore the state or the context of a CPU in a process control block so that a process execution can be resumed from the same point at the later time. That means when the scheduler switches the CPU from executing one process to execute another, then the state from the current running process is stored into the process control block. After this, the state for the process to run next is loaded from its PCB and used to set program counter, registers, etc. And at that point, the second process can start executing. The context switching involves storing the context or state of a process so that it can be reloaded whenever required and execution can be resumed. This is a feature of multitasking operating system and allows a single CPU to be shared by the multiple processes. In short, in the context switching, when you are using the multitasking operating system, means in that operating system you can execute the number of processes, you can execute the number of tasks simultaneously. Suppose whenever one process is executing in a CPU, then and in that situation the higher priority process coming into the ready queue, then the scheduler selects the new arrived higher priority process for the execution. Then the current execution of the process, currently running process, is suspended, means stopped, and that execution context is saved in its own PCB. PCB stands for process control block, means currently running execution state is saved into that process PCB, and CPU takes the another process, newly arrived process, for the execution. And after completing that execution, again the CPU takes the suspended process again for the execution, and the execution starts from the remaining part of that particular process. The CPU takes its PCB, CPU sees, observe that PCB, and again the execution of the suspended process will resume. So, the context switching is an essential part of the multitasking operating system. Let's see again the details about the context switch, how the context switch is occur in the operating system. The occurrence of any event, is marked by an interrupt from either the software or hardware. If any interrupt will occur while the processing any process, then that interrupt is marked as an event, and that interrupt can be a hardware interrupt or software interrupt. In the operating system, any type of interrupt will occur, that is of type hardware or software. Hardware may trigger an interrupt at any time by sending signal to the CPU by the way of the system bus. The hardware may trigger any event at the execution of process, and that interrupt is sent by the system bus. Software can also trigger an interrupt by special means, that is called as system call, and all the software can also trigger an event by calling different system call. Interrupts cause an operating system to change the control of the CPU from a current running process to a kernel mode or even user mode. Now, when CPU is switched from the kernel process to other task, then it is necessary to store the current context. Means whenever any system call occurred or whenever any interrupt will occur in the system, then at that time the CPU is switched from one process to another process. And in that situation, it is necessary to store the current state, current process context, that is the background information of the running process before really switching to the kernel. The context is generally stored in a form of a process control block, and that context is generally stored in a process PCB, that is process control block. CPU can restore these details when a process is suspended and resumed again when the switching task gets over. Commonly, the state save is done when CPU switches to the kernel, and then state resume is done to resume the process. Commonly, the state save and state resume are used for the switching. State save is used for storing the current execution of the process, and state resume is used for restart the suspended process. Switching to the different processes required two operations, that is, the one is state save for running process and state restore for another process, and this task is known as context switching. The kernel stores the context of the old process in its PCB when the context switch occurs and loads the saved context of another process which is scheduled to run. The context switching time is an overhead time. During the switching, time system does not do any useful task or useful work. But the drawback of the context switching is it overrides the time, because in the switching time the kernel or the system does not perform any other task. But remember that the switching time varies from machine to machine. This time is dependent on the type of hardware used, memory speed, or the number of registers used in that particular system. And the switching time of the CPU is in millisecond. By default, the switching time used by the CPU is in millisecond. Let's see one example for the context switching. See this figure of context switch. Here two processes, P0 process and P1 process are there. Here two processes, P0 and P1. Here two processes are there that are executing in a computer, P0, process P0 and process P1. In this diagram, initially process P0 is running. Here P0 process is in running. Initially P0 process is in running. Process 0 is switched out and process 1 is switched in because of an interrupt or a system call. Here in this situation, whenever we know that initially P0 process is running in our system, within the execution of the process P0 execution is interrupted. Process P0 execution is interrupted because of interrupt or any system call. Then the context switching involves saving the state of process P0 into PCB0. That means process 0's PCB and loading the state of process 1 from PCB1. Here in this situation, P0 process is currently executing in a system. While executing, because of occurring any interrupt or a system call, the process 0's execution is interrupted, or the P0 process execution is stopped here. Then here context switch is occurred, and within that context switching the control goes for the process 1. But before starting the execution of the process 1, the context state of the process 0 is saved to its PCB0. PCB0, that is process control block for the process 0. Here process P0's current state is saved to its PCB. Then the system reloads the state from the PCB1, because after stopping the execution of process 0, CPU takes the another process P1 for the execution. So CPU first takes, or it reloads the state of the PCB1. After getting the state, the execution of the process 1 is carried out. Again, if any interrupt or when system call is occurred in the process 1, at that time that process 1 execution will stop because of the interrupt or system call is occurring in that particular process. Then again the process 1 state is saved into the PCB1. Means the process 1's process control block stores the process 1's state. And again the CPU takes the another process for the execution. The CPU again takes the state of suspended process 0. That means CPU reload the state of PCB 0, and again CPU takes the execution of the process 0. This way, in the multiprocessing and multitasking environment, the context switching of multiple processes is done in the operating system. That means in the above diagram, initially process 0 is running, process 0 is switched out and process 1 is switched in because of an interrupt or the system call occurred during the execution of process 0. The context switching involves saving the state of process 0 and into PCB 0 and loading the state of process 1 from PCB 1. First, system saves the states currently running process state into its PCB and it takes the state of, it reloads the state of another process in the system. After some time, again a context switch and process 1 is switched out and process 0 is switched in again. This involves saving the state of process 1 into PCB 1 and loading the state of process 0 from PCB 0. This is an context switching. Here in this diagram also there is an context switch occurred between the two process 1 and process 2. This diagram demonstrates the context switching between process P1 and process P2. See this figure? Here context switching is occurred between the process 1 and process 2. You take any one example from both of these two figures. You can refer this or this. Next we will see context switching triggers. There are three major triggers for context switching. These are given as follow, that are multitasking, interrupt handling, user and kernel mode switching. Context switching triggers means the conditions those are responsible for occurring context switch in operating system. There are mainly three conditions. Because of that conditions, the context switching is taking place in our operating system. First one is the multitasking. In a multitasking environment, a process is switched out of the CPU, so another process can also be run. The state of the old process is saved and the state of the new process is loaded on a preemptive system. Processes may be switched out by the scheduler. Because of the multitasking environment, the context switching will taking place. Next one is the interrupt handling. The hardware switches a part of the context when an interrupt occurs. This happens automatically, only some of the context is changed to minimize the time required to handle the interrupt. Interrupt handling is also responsible for the making context switching in the operating system. There are two types of interrupt that are occurred in a operating system, that are either hardware interrupt or software interrupt. Next one is the user and kernel mode switching. Next condition for the context switching is user and kernel mode switching. A context switch may take place when a transition between the user mode and the kernel mode is required in the operating system. At that time also the context switching mechanism is required. Next one is the context switching steps. There are certain steps involved in the context switching, that are: save the context of the process that is currently running on the CPU. First, saving the context of currently running process. Update the process control block and other important fields. After saving the process, updates its PCB. Next, move the process control block of the above process into the relevant queue such as ready queue, IO queue, etc. Then after updating the PCB, that PCB is stored into a queue, that is either ready queue or device queue, etc. Next, select a new process for execution. After suspending the current execution of currently running process, the system selects a new process for the execution. Next, update the process control block of the selected process. Then system updates the current process PCB. This includes the updating the process state to running, because that stored process is in ready state. That then after updating, the process state will changes to ready state to running state. Next, update the memory management data structures as required. For storing, the memory management data structures are used. Next, restore the context of process that was previously running when it is loaded again on the processor. This is done by loading previous values of a process control block and registers. Then after, again restore the context of previously running process. These are the certain steps that are used for the context switching. Next, we will see the advantage and disadvantages of the context switching. The advantage of the context switch is used to achieve multitasking. When you are using a multitasking environment, then in that environment you want to execute the number of processes simultaneously. So by achieving high performance, the context switching process will help you. Next, the disadvantage of context switching. The disadvantage of context switching is that it requires some time for context switching, that is a context switching time. This is an limitation of the context switch, that is the context switching process requires some time of the CPU for the switching the processes to switching the context of processes and reloading the state of different processes. And during the switching time, there is an no useful work done by the CPU. This is an drawback or the limitation of the context switching. In today's lecture, we will learn the concept of context switching. Okay, thank you.